making your sound better.
Yo, what's up guys? It's me Brandon J from w.a.production, and today I'm going to show you how I recreated Intentions by Justin Bieber inside FL Studio. But since this is just a quick overview, I'm going to include the download links for the presets, stems, and project files so you guys can explore more of the details on your own. But keep in mind that you're going to need a couple of things for this to work properly on your end, two of which are really important, and the rest can have their respective workaround using stock plugins. So now without further ado, let's jump right to the project. The first thing that I always do in recreating a song is get the acapella. I always choose to extract it myself using an audio restoration software instead of downloading it online, since it gives me more flexibility and control up to the smallest detail of the audio. But if you can get a raw vocal stem for it, then it would be a lot better. That will serve as your guide in building the entire track. Next thing is the tempo. Modern digital audio workstation nowadays can easily detect the tempo of a song, especially those that are rich in transients. But just to save some time, you can just do your research. It is also important to label each section to ease up the navigation throughout the production process. Now let's talk about the main lead sound. This main lead sound is made from a basic sine wave passing through this amp envelope, then to filter A, which I maxed out the drive, then a light distortion to get that extra sizzle. There are 3 instances of this synth with similar settings across the entire track, but they all have their own respective effects chain. The first instance is this sound right here, and it goes like this. I added Maximus to control the dynamics of the low frequencies and saturated the mids a bit to make that rich plucky tone pop a little more. I also added stereo separation to make it sound wider, some reverb. You'll also notice that I added an EQ and automated the mix level just to add this thin and distorted feel on the verses, just 2 bars before every chorus hits. And the last one is the sidechain. Notice that I only did it above 200 Hz. Why? Because that's where the sidechain source, which is the clap, sits in the frequency spectrum. The second instance is this plucky sounding one. This is the element that complements the melody of the lead vocals, mainly on the chorus parts, and it goes like this. This one has a much lesser decay, sustain, and release to emphasize that plucky feel. I only added an EQ and reverb to it, nothing too technical and fancy. And the last one is somewhat like an ear candy. It's kind of like a short melodic fill in the middle of the intros and outros, and it goes like this. It is also being layered along with Pluck, which is a stock plugin in FL. Both instruments go through a bus which only has a reverb. I didn't process this heavily as it doesn't need to be on the very top of the mix. And now for the 808. The 808 is just made from a single oscillator with a basic analog sine wave lowered down 2 octaves, then passing through this filter right here with the default filter setting. Then I set the cutoff frequency to 106 Hz and map to the second envelope. Next is I map the master tune in envelope number 3 and LFO2. Then the rest is just me playing around with the parameters to match the 808 sound from the original track. For the effects, I just added a distortion to get that crunch and a compressor to make that sound more elaborate. And that's it. Here's how it sounded before, now after. Next is the sub. The sub is just a second instance of the 808 but with different filter, envelope, and LFO settings. Nothing too complex or technical. In fact, if you don't have Serum, you can just use any sine wave sub with any synth as a substitute. And for the effects, one thing that I can mention is that there are 2 sidechain running on this one. One is for the kick, which is only attenuating the frequency where the kick resonates, and the other one is for the clap. Now with the drums. This element of the track didn't need much magic since it's just a simple kick, clap, and hi-hat pattern which is repetitive throughout the track. But one thing I did was I automated the reverb mix level down of the clap here in the intro because it's not competing with the other instruments, mainly in this area. And the rest are just ear candies, just to make the track sound more compelling. We have this Coke in a can sound right here that I recorded using my phone. I spliced it up to match the sound from the original track and boom! There you have it. Then we have this long ambient pluck, which again is made using just a basic analog sine wave with a filter cutoff mapped to another envelope. The secret sauce for this is this Valhalla shimmer, which is causing that long ambient reverb tail. And I added some stereo separation to make it sound wider. Here's some sound before. Now after. And yeah, that's all there is for the track. I'll just leave the rest of the details for you guys to explore. Again, the links are in the description down below. And if you guys have any song remake suggestions that you'd like me to do next, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below also. And if you like what you've learned today, please leave us a thumbs up and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified the next time we put up a new content like this. Again, this is Brandon J from w.a.production, wishing you good health, joy, and prosperity. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the video.